Hello everyone, I'm Deanna from Nana's Journey, and I'm about to start a new quilt. I designed this one on my EQ8 software, and this will be the actual applique in the center. These right here are just placeholders. That's not what the applique is actually going to look like. And the fabric that I have on hand is about, I don't know, I'm guessing 8 years old. So I couldn't put the actual fabric in my software, but I got something that was close. So this is just a rough idea of what it's going to look like. So this is sort of what it will be. I really liked doing the center applique on my last quilt, and I wanted to do that again. And it's going to be a finished size of 17 inches. And the blocks are going to be a finished 8-inch size. And the quilt will end up 59 by 71. So what I'm going to do first is the center block. And these are my steps for applique. First, I trace the design onto some heat and bond light, which I've already traced all my pieces and got them cut out because you can't see that because the light box just makes you see a big block of white. So I'm about to iron the pieces onto the wrong side of the fabric. And then you'll cut the pieces out. I forgot about rough cutting, so I cut most of my pieces out to size. And that's okay, you just have to cut a little more carefully. But it is easier if you just rough cut the pieces. And then we'll place them onto the fabric, on the background fabric, and iron them on. And you use a applique pressing sheet. I will be using this one. I probably got it on Amazon. I'm not sure where. But you put this between your fabric and the heat and bond pieces to protect your iron from any glue that might come up. So I will be using that. So this is the actual size of the center square pattern. And this red mark is the middle of the design. So I'll use that when I put this underneath of my background. Also, you do want to make sure you trace the mirror image. So if you have an image you really like, just flip it over and then put your heat and bond on there and trace over it. And then when you put it on the fabric and flip it back over, it'll be right side up. So I've already cut out my background piece. I did it at 18.5. So that when I'm all done putting the applique on, then I will trim it up to 17.5. So I used my Creative Grids 18.5-inch ruler for that. And I ironed, I don't know if you can see that, but I ironed a mark to mark the middle. So now I just need to get over to the ironing board and iron down my stems, which I am going to do first. And all of the fabric that I'm going to be using is all stash. It's stuff I have left over from other quilts or I had bought years ago because I thought it was cute. For instance, these are the fabrics I'm going to use. I probably won't use these. There's pinks, grays, purples, greens, yellows, and blues. And then I have this left over from one of my sister's quilts that will be the binding. And this background is what I used on Becky's quilt. And I had bought some extra because I knew I'd want to use it someday again. And I wanted to buy it, in case they ran out. So I am using that also. So hopefully I will be able to finish the quilt without having to buy any fabric. So let's get to the ironing board and get started. Okay, here's what I mean by rough cut. Just leave a little extra around the outsides and make sure you're ironing to the wrong side of the fabric. So here's a couple of the stems. I will put my Teflon sheet over it, and I can kind of see through, so I know that there's nothing poking off the edge of the fabric and they're not overlapping. See, ironed on. Now they're ready to cut out and be placed right side up. Now I have these ones to do. Okay, and these ones are all ironed on. Oh, that needs a little bit more. Okay, now that's down. Okay, now we'll finish the rest of the applique with this process and get them cut out, and I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, I'm back. I've got my pieces ironed and cut out. And if you're like me and you forget to mirror your design, you should always turn it over, trace, you can see the back side. Just do a rough copy. Well, I'll just flip mine over now, pin my background fabric to the back side instead of the front side. I can still see through. Okay, and I know that that's kind of the middle, so I'll just pin my fabric to this for now. Okay, so now I know I'm going to want this there. That there. This will go there. And I think I'm going to put this one on top. These are going to have to go, since you can see that this is the top of the vase, it'll have to go a little farther than that so that the end is under the edge of the vase. So now what I will do, I will peel this, and then I will take this fabric to the ironing board and then iron it on. Okay, I've got the pieces peeled and set on, and I will just iron them down. Okay, it's all ironed on. Now I just need to sew down that applique. Okay, I'm all ready to go. I should have waited until I embroidered these down before I put that on, but it's okay, we can work around it. I've got my stitch length at 1.3 and my stitch width at 2.8. And I am trying out my presser foot knee lift for the first time. So bear with me while we get that worked out, or I practice with it. Okay, I had a lot of problems with my thread breaking, so I'm going to go ahead and change my top thread. Okay, I have this pink that will work, and I don't have a pale yellow, but I have this, and that will work out pretty good. So I will use those, and I think since I don't want to go to the store and buy some thread, I'm going to use the pink for this darker one too. Okay, I found this darker pink that will go better than this one for those red ones, so I'll be using these three colors. I've got my applique all done, and I still have the center marked right there. And I marked the center for 17.5 inches. That's 8 3/4. Both ways. Yeah, there it is. So 8 3/4. Then line that up. Close enough. And now I should be able to just do 17.5. Oops. Okay, I've got the centerpiece squared, and now I can start on the blocks, and okay, I forgot I wasn't supposed to. I forgot that was not supposed to be there. So I should have trimmed it at 18.5. I should have kept it at 18.5. So I will readjust these somehow, or I can just add the sashing on there, but the sashing the same color would just look stupid, so I'm not going to do that. So I have to get back on the computer and see what I can do. Okay, it turns out that was not a mistake, but a happy accident. So the sashing is going to be in this. And this is what the border is going to be out of. This is Pathways Blush from the Sanctuary collection. It's left over from my sister Linda's quilt. And I am going to cut that just a little larger. They should be 1.5-inch strips, but I'm going to cut them a little larger so that I have enough to square up. So that, I think that will be enough for two sides. Okay, that will be the two sides, and then this will be the two, oops. Oh, I hope I put the other one right. Yeah. The two, top and bottom. Okay. Okay, now this one, I need 17, and I turned that wrong, 17.5. And this one I need 19.5. Okay, we'll put these on the sides. So, turn them over, press open. Then I will sew the top and the bottom on, right sides together, open it up and press, and then we will trim. Okay, now I'll just press that open. And we'll pin it. Okay, I trimmed the sides to 1 1/4 inches, and then when the other seam gets put on, it will be a 1 inch finished border. And that way the edges of the 19.5 strip fit just right. So, and I know that that's going to be straight and square. Okay, now let's get this trimmed. I can trim it at 1 1/4 inches. Whoops, that was not 1 1/4. This one bows a little. So, 1 1/4, 1 1/4. I think I want to bring that in, because that will go quilted in. Okay, so 1 1/4. So I'm glad I made that mistake, because this was one of God's tender mercies. This turned out better than my original plan. So now I will be working on the blocks along with the sashing. And then I will work on the flying geese. I'll probably make these blocks with these ones. Make the flying geese, put everything together. When I get all these blocks done, I will attach them to this center square. So right now I'm going to take a break, so I will see you next time.